Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Hangman Adam Page in a match where the title can change hands on a count out of disqualification, whereby they hit each other with every weapon at ringside and spend at least 40% of the match brawling around the ring. I've got real mixed feelings about this match, but I'll let you go first because I know that you're really pissed off about it.
No, you're wrong. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes and no. It's one of those weird ones where I think this was a great match.
It was.
Almost in spite of itself.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this match is originally this was just going to be a match. And then the week before, MJF is going to burn Mark Briscoe alive unless Hangman Adam Page agrees to terms, which is one, the contract isn't up for use because this is for his contract he won. And also the world title can change hands on DQ and DQ and count out. Okay.
Yeah.
Storytelling wise, okay. And then here's the story, right? MJF wants to win this title, but he is going to try and goad Hangman into basically breaking the rules to such a degree that he's going to get disqualified or counted out, right? But so he, at the beginning of the match, he keeps going on the ropes, trying to piss him off. Immediately, my issue is MJF goes outside the ring, and Hangman, without a second thought, follows him. Wouldn't you think straight away, storytelling-wise, Hangman should go out there and then stop himself and go, do I want to go out the ring? Because I know this bastard's going to try and get me counted out. Instead, they just wander outside the ring and the ref just isn't counting. For ages, he just isn't counting. So immediately, I'm just like, oh, okay. Immediately, they start brawling and Hangman is throwing him into without any thought. And I know
first on the barricade and shit.
Yeah, and I know for normal matches, I wouldn't have thought about this as a criticism if the stipulation wasn't there. Because my reaction would be, well, people do this in every single match, right? Mm-hmm. But why isn't MJF, as soon as this is happening, he gets an upper hand, turning to the ref and going, why didn't you disqualify him? He just dropped me, you know what I mean? Like, and the ref can say to him, I'm not doing that for that. If this was 1997 WCW, and DDP tricked Hogan into having the title change's hands on a DQ or count out, I would say that is the smartest thing that DDP can do because this is WCW in 1997 and there's a 99% chance there's going to be a DQ finish. This is a company, though, and it's 2025, where you can do all of this stuff outside the ring, and especially in AEW, like how many DQ finishes have they ever had in this company? No, 6?
Oh, I don't even know if it's that.
Like, I don't know, because they just don't have it. What MJF should have done, really, when he was about to set Mark Briscoe on fire, was say to Adam Page, right, number one, I don't have to use my contract. And number two, the title can change hands if this match goes over 30 minutes and we get a 4-star review from Dave Meltzer. You do that, the title changes hands. Don't say DQ count out, mate. That never happens. Say a 30-minute time limit draw. That happens. But this guy's picked two things that never happen in this company. But then Adam Page goes to grab a chair. And the referee stops him and says to him, stop. Think about what you're doing. I will disqualify you if you use that chair. So you've established the ref is aware of this and is saying this to him, okay?
Yeah, he's letting them go, but there's limits, yeah.
There is a limit. If you pick that up and use that thing, I will disqualify. This isn't just throwing him into ringside steps or anything. I will disqualify you. And Adam Page goes, okay. At this point, MJF goes out to grab a table. To which me and you go, wait, what? And I'm live. So I'm going to do this twice. Live, we're sitting there going, why is MJF getting a table? He can get disqualified, right? Like, there's nothing that says he can't get disqualified. He walks it round. He's going to put Hangman on it to then do a splash off the top rope onto Hangman. Hangman thwarts him, okay?
Yeah.
Hangman then throws him in the ring and stops himself and looks back at the table. Oh, he's thinking about it. And then he starts moving the table to ringside. And I'm like, well, he's not going to slam him through the table. He'll get disqualified. At which point, he looks at the ref. This is another thing. He looks directly at the ref. And the ref, he doesn't say, don't you do it, Hangman, I'll disqualify you. He doesn't do anything. He just looks at him and kind of goes, "Nah," like a little shrug kind of thing. And I'm like, what? You just told him he can't use a chair. What do you mean? And you see him go, fuck it. And he picks up MJF. MJF sells this great where he sees the table and he sees what's going to happen. And he's like, oh, and he's like scrambling away, like panicking. Love that sell. Hangman then picks up MJF and doesn't just slam him through the table. He hits his secondary finisher through the table to the outside, right? Hits the dead eye to the outside. And watching it live, the crowd goes silent. There's this initial, oh, he's hitting through the table. And then live, everyone sits there and it's silence. And you just hear people going to each other, he's going to get DQ'd, isn't he? Does he get DQ'd? Why doesn't he get DQ'd? That's the end of the match, isn't it? He's going to get DQ'd. There's no DQ.
And then lay outside of the ring. And then not only that, they both lay on the floor outside of the ring for about 25 seconds.
And the ref's not he's making no attempt. He's not DQing. He's not making count out. Nothing, right? And I'm sitting there going, and this isn't just me and you. We weren't just sitting there, the only ones going, why the fuck hasn't he been disqualified? You could hear people around us being like, is that it? Like, that's a DQ, right? He slammed him for a tape, like, surely, right? He throws him in the... And also commentary on... Because I went back and watched this on commentary. I was thinking...
Oh, the commentary really annoyed me because at the start of the match, they're talking about it, like making a big deal about this stip. As soon as he goes through the table, they drop all of it. It's like, don't mention that.
Well, Daniel Bryan's going, oh, don't do it, Hangman. Don't make him wrestle your match. And then he's, okay, fine, do it, but then get him in the ring and pin him. I went, get him in the ring and pin him? He's just slammed him through a table. This is, again... But anyway, they go in the ring after this. Hangman goes to pin him. MJF gets his foot on the ropes. MJF at one point tombstones Hangman on Page onto the remnants of the table outside.
Sick spot, by the way. I thought it was a really good spot.
Great spot. And he's saying to the ref, count him out, ref, count him out, right? And the ref, this is the one big spot where they're like, doing the slow 10 count outside. And finally, I'm like, oh, look, MJF is like trying to convince the ref to do it. But again, after he woke up and he got the advantage again, why didn't he turn to the ref and go, ref, he slammed me through a table. Why haven't you disqualified him, right? Why? Because even if the ref is like, no, I'm not going to do it for that, mate, at least MJF has made the stipulation. He'd be pushing for it, wouldn't he? The match continues, and it's still a good match. They go into this section where they're doing the quick roll-up pin things. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. Again, doing that after you do a spot for a table to the outside, I think is a bit of bad planning. But I did like this spot. Pinfall, 2, 2, 1, 1. Over into the double bridge. And doing that 20 minutes into a match is really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Double bridge up, spin around, into the dead eye. That could have been the finish. I'd have been fine with that. Bang. 1, 2, kick out. Until it gets towards the end. At which point MJF gets the belt and the contract that's in like a metal briefcase, right? And he throws the belt in. The referee sees it and goes, you're not using that. Get rid of it. And then while his back's turned, he runs in and hits Adam Page with the contract. 1, 2, kick out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You've missed the bit where he tries to get Page to hit him with the ring, haven't you?
Was that before this?
I think that's before it. I'm not sure. And he's holding the ring and he's going, hit me with it. And Page is like, put it on. And he's like, and I'm like, why are you hesitating? You've already done so much shit like that could have got you disqualified. Why are you hesitating now? Like, the ring.
Or at least turn to the ref and go, where do you stand on this, mate? And then Hangman doesn't do it, and instead he hits him with I can't remember what it was, he spits it in, he hits him with a move. MJF hits him with a low blow because the ref's out cold, and he then hits him with a pile driver. Then you come to the big false finish, where he low blows him, hits him with a pile driver, the one he does on the ropes.
Yeah.
Foot on the ropes from Hangman, but the ref counts a 3.
Yeah.
People are shitting on this spot. It doesn't make sense, and it is stupid. I don't mind it.
I didn't like it live because I didn't understand. I was like, clearly he's just counted 3. This should be the end of the match. When you watch it on TV, it's much clearer that the 3 count is meant to be the ref passing back out. So he does like the 1, 2. Yeah, he does like 1, and obviously he's like groggy 2, and then as he brings his hand up for the 3rd, he just sort of falls to the side and slaps the mat like he's not actually counting the 4. So like,
okay, you know what?
That's how I interpreted it on a rewatch. Because when I watched it live, I went, ring the bell because he's just won the match. Like, I don't give a fuck if his foot's on the rope.
I don't even mind he counted the 3, right? The match is not over until the ref calls for the bell. Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if he makes a 3 count until he calls for the bell, which he didn't do. The guy at the side shouldn't ring the bell. Mark Briscoe's music hits because apparently he'd been beaten by MJF a couple of weeks ago with the same thing, foot on the ropes, and blah, blah. So he's coming out to right this wrong. He doesn't get the chance to right the wrong because security stop him. But this gives enough of a delay, so MJF is too focused on him to move the foot off the ropes. So when he eventually turns around and Mark Briscoe's gone, MJF turns around to remove Adam Page's foot from the ropes. The referee's awake. It basically comes down to, while the referee's not looking, Adam Page gets the contract briefcase. He's able to hit MJF with it, then Deadeye, then hit his clothesline, and he pins him. Overall, a really good match.
What annoyed me about it, so I will say this, the reason I say I've got mixed feelings on this match is I think in the ring it was probably the best work of the night. I think they got the most genuine crowd reaction out of the whole night, like where people just pop in for the sake of popping. People were genuinely invested in the match. I thought the fact that they put Page over like a fucking $1 million, like it literally ends with him leaving MJF laying in the ring, and basically they're going, well, he's got his contract, but I bet he won't be cashing that anytime soon because he knows he can't beat Hangman. I was like, I like that. But yeah, the problem with it is it kind of felt like they'd already put the match together in their heads, and then the stipulation was added, and they went, well, fuck you, we're just going to do what we were planning anyway.
So no, I agree. I'm completely conflicted on this, where it's a good match and everything you said is true, but it's just weird how they do it. Having said all of this, we're wrong.
Okay.
Because I've done research and looked into this. Did you know that in AEW, putting someone through a table is not a disqualifiable offence?
What the fuck is then?
So the rationale behind this is that a table on the outside of the ring is viewed as the same as the barricade, as ring steps, as pole driving someone onto the outside. It is part of the furniture. If you happen to go through a table, you're not actively, hitting someone with it. You're running along and get back body dropped and you go through a table. That's just part of the furniture of the outside of the ring. It's not, you don't get disqualified.
Okay,
with that in mind, if that is the rules, I'm going to carry on with this in a minute. If that is the rules, doesn't this match make far more sense?
If you're outside the ring and you charge at someone and they hit a wrestling move and you happen to go headfirst into a chair, that person shouldn't be disqualified. It's your fault you're outside the ring.
I agree.
If you go and get the chair and set it up in a specific place, it's like the table thing. Like if they'd just been sat there and they'd gone through it, I'd have gone all right. But they didn't.
So here's the thing. I completely agree. I think if you'd have done the same spot where the table was left where it was, and I don't mean even before MJF moved it for the splash, where it was by the announce tables, if Hangman had MJF runs it and he back body drops him and he happens to go over through the table, I'm like, you don't disqualify someone for that. However, and this is one of those things where, okay, by the letter of the law in terms of AEW, apparently you don't get disqualified for putting someone through a table. But if you read the threads of people trying to explain why this is the case and why it makes sense, you very quickly realize that no one actually understands why this makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to go through kind of the way that people are talking.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how come Hangman didn't get disqualified for using the table? Well, in AEW, they don't count it as a weapon because it's just a ringside object and you happen to go through it. Yeah, but MJF moved it. So now he's actively using it. It doesn't matter because it's still, you aren't actively hitting someone with it. They're going, they're just passively going through it. Right, so if I hit them with a table, that's a disqualification. Absolutely. But not if I set it up and then drive them through the table. No, absolutely not. Well, as you saw in the match, someone got to drop toe hold onto the chair and they didn't get disqualified. Sure, but what if I got the chair, put it on, but I can't hit him with a chair. You cannot hit him with a chair. What if I set the chair up and then pile drived him onto the chair? That would be fine because you aren't actively hitting them with it. Okay, so I can't actively hit him with a chair, but I can actively hit their head onto the chair. And that's disqualifiable. Yes. Okay. What if I got 5 tables and one after the other kept slamming him through tables? Well, yeah, you get disqualified for that. But why? If one isn't a disqualification, why is 2? Like 0, no matter how many zeros you add up, it never reaches 1, right? You can't slam, I hate to break it to everyone, you can't slam people through tables. If you actively get the table or any weapon, I don't care if it's outside the ring. If you know, just because if MJF had reached under the ring and pulled out the table, I think everyone would be like, that's disqualifiable, right? Just because someone set it up beforehand by the announcer's desk is irrelevant. But if once you actively get this foreign object and do something with it to place it and set it up, I'm sorry, it's a disqualifiable thing. I don't care what the AEW have decided. No, that's fine.
Well, the problem is, we've had this discussion before on previous podcasts, John. The problem is when there are no rules, you can't get heat. Like, here's a question: if I'm allowed to do that, right? Why wouldn't I put someone for a table in every match? If I'm allowed, because I want to win every match, right?
And on top of that, if then a heel does that every match, if a heel came out in every single match, just went slam through a table, win the match, it was passively there, I'm not doing anything with it, you can't then boo the bat. You can't boo him because he's like, what, I'm following the rules as written? What do you want me to do? You can't get heat. The whole point is but you can't simultaneously do that where it's like you're allowed to slam from someone through a table, but you can't hit them with a ring. Why the fuck not? Tony Khan signed off on that.
Yeah.
Why, you absolute idiot?
Well, and also
because wrestlers might want to do a table spot. Sorry, you can't.
Yeah, it's not in the rules. That's for special matches, you dickhead.
Yeah. But believe it or not, guys, after your match, which the whole point is you can't get disqualified, we're having a lights out fucking cage match where they're going to use tables. So no, you can't use a fucking table. Oh, why not? Well, because also this match is about you can't get disqualified, so it might blur the lines of what the hell's going on.